Hello and welcome back to the 80s Toy Museum. Last time out, took a look at G2 Megatron. And he's going to roll out while we take a look at another G2 offering. It's Megatron's arch nemesis, Optimus Prime, G2 Laser version. Unlike the G2 Megatron tank, which was released in '92 right at the start of G2, this one was released in 1995. So Megatron's counterpart on the shelves, at least, was a reissue of G1 Optimus Prime with the new black trailer, and it wasn't until 1995 that Optimus got himself a completely brand new toy, not a reissue, recolor, and it's one of the laser rods. So Megatron has all of the electronic sounds, and this Optimus Prime has the electronic lights. And when I picked this one up some years back, I was lucky enough to get the box with it, as well as the instructions, and this one is really thick. It's really not that complicated a transformation, but a lot of instructions to go along with it. And the box right here says pop-up 3D Transformer trading card, which is what we got right here. There's the Transformers logo in there. It looks like this, it's kind of punched through. It looks like you can pop him out of the backing so that he'll stand up, but I don't want to do that. Don't want to mess this up. Got the tech specs right there. Gotta always have the Optimus Prime quote, "Freedom is the right of all sentient beings." And some artwork on the back. Let's open up the box. Prime comes with a tanker this time, instead of a box trailer, and he's a different style of truck too. He's not the flat COE style of truck, and he comes with a lot of accessories. Real American Hero had just ended the year before, and those late Joes came with a lot of accessories compared to the early ones. And I think Hasbro was just in the habit of including a whole bunch of stuff. So in '95, Prime got all of this stuff. This is his blaster, and it's got some clear plastic parts to it. The tips are clear, the handle is also clear, and the way the gimmick works is Prime's fist lights up. So when you put his fist in there, it'll light up the cannons. Like so. Maybe not as bright as this super bright flashlight is, but still the effect works. He comes with a sword too, clear sword, and it's the same thing when you put it in his fist. It has a really nice effect of lighting up the edges of the sword. And he comes with 3 of these missiles with rubber tips on them, and the trailer has a disc shooter, so it comes with 5 discs to load in the top. It's also got a missile launcher, so it comes with 10 of these missiles. And they can all be stored in vehicle mode. The blaster has a spot in the trailer, which opens up right here. There's a little hole right there. And this blaster has this panel that will move up so that you can plug it in for the trailer. Close it back down. There's a little bit of a hole here that they designed in there so that the blaster will fit in there. And you can also load the discs into the top. However, these are from the reissue, Takara reissue, and they don't fit. I thought they would be the exact same size, but the Takara reissue discs are too big. I do have 3 of the originals that came with this one, and there is a small difference. In addition to the size, the original has these new G2 Autobot symbols. They changed the symbol to look more like, kind of looks like Grimlock to me, but I guess it could be Prime. And the reissue ones have nothing on them. So these do fit. They pop right in there. And then to use the gimmick, you can aim, which is a really cool feature. Instead of just shooting forward and having to move the whole truck to where you want to aim, you can just shoot wherever you want. And the second dial right here is what shoots the discs, so you just twist. And it actually shoots them out with pretty good force. It's actually surprising how by 95, still a lot of spring power in there. And what I really like about this Prime is that, unlike a lot of the early G1 Autobots who you couldn't store their weapons in vehicle mode, this Optimus Prime can store everything, including a sword. So this is a cool design here. There's these little pieces right here that will fit back here, and there's only one way it can go. Can't go the other way. It's not identical on both sides. You see how that comes out on one side but not on the other? It's flat on the other. So you just find which side has the notches that stick out. You wouldn't think it's all that secure. It doesn't take much to slide it in there, but it's in there pretty secure. You've got to give it a good shake like I just did, but if you're a little more gentle with it, it's staying in there and doesn't scrape along the ground. You can see the back of it there while it's in there, but I really like that, being able to hold all of his weapons in vehicle mode. And here's a closer look at vehicle mode before we transform him. And it's so nice that he's still got chrome. Really important part of Optimus Prime's truck mode to have a chrome, vac metal chrome grille. Looks awesome. He does not have chrome smokestacks though, just gray plastic. Some silver plastic on the side here. The G2 Transformers had some kind of cheesy stickers. Optimus Prime, I don't think, really needs a sticker that says Optimus Prime on his side. He does have chrome hubcaps, wheel covers, whatever you call them on a truck. And speaking of unnecessary stickers, another big Optimus Prime sticker. And that's a cool graphic from the comic. I don't think he actually appeared in the comic in this form. I think it was G2 comic was done by the time this guy came out. But there he is, blasting away, and Optimus Prime Octane sticker on the one side. It's got license plate is OP95. That's fitting. Transformers. At the end there, identical sticker on the other side. And most important of all, he rolls very nicely. And the laser rod gimmick, he's got a button on the roof of the truck here, and when you push that button, in addition to the fist that lights up in robot mode, his headlights light up. That's a really cool feature. Not a lot of Optimus Prime toys have had that, especially early Prime toys. None of the G1 toys had it. This might be the only G2 toy that had it. If only he had a honking horn. That's another pretty important part of a truck toy, but the headlights are really cool. And I'll shut off the overhead room lights. Wow. Looks even better in the dark. Alright, let's transform this Transformer. Detach from the trailer. We'll transform that in a minute. And the first thing you can do is remove the sword. You want to pull the legs out. I really do like that he has some similarities to the original G1 Optimus Prime transformation. So the legs come out the same way, feet flip down, and unlike the original Optimus Prime, the legs can come apart. So just for the transformation, you can pull them apart. I'll get to his articulation in a minute. The rest of the transformation differs from G1 Optimus Prime. The arms still kind of come out from the sides, which is cool, but his shoulders are right up here, and they split apart like that and come down on either side like that, giving Optimus Prime these big, bulky, football pad type of shoulders, making him look really powerful. And then his head is hidden in his chest. Just open up that panel, and the head can swing up by pressing on this. It's nice that they added this little nub here so that you wouldn't have to try to feed the head out of there. Head comes out. Close that back up. If you have a matrix, you can stick a matrix in there if you want. And then turn the head around. And Optimus Prime, G2 Optimus Prime, is now in robot mode. And let's get him all armed up and ready for battle. We can take this blaster and pop it in his fist. Guess you can move that down if you want. Always just leave it up. Doesn't really look much like his original blaster. It's a lot more stock, squat, stocky, and it's a double barrel instead of Prime's original. And then you can take the sword, pop it in his other fist, and Prime's all armed up. And unlike a lot of G1 Optimus Primes, he's got some posability here, so you can actually have him pose the gun out to the side. His head does move. The arm, in addition to going up and down, he kind of gets in his own way here because of the big bulky shoulder pad, but he's got great movement forward. You just got to watch those wires in there. Move that around a lot, and you're probably going to snap those wires after a while. The arm goes out. His articulation for a Transformer, early Transformer, is amazing. They already started to incorporate a lot more articulation with the G2 Transformers. Look at that. Arms can go out to the side. It's also got an elbow bend. He's also got G.I. Joe style swivel arm. You can get tons of awesome poses. You can have his gun at the ready. Have him out to the side and blasting away. Or forward. All sorts of great poses with the sword. Swiping overhead. He's got a waist twist, which is not involved with the transformation. They just added it as a point of articulation. And his legs, again, this is for articulation. It's not part of the transformation. The legs can go forward. You can bend the knee. It's got amazing knee bend. This is a really super posable Optimus Prime. I believe this was the most posable Optimus Prime at the time. And he can't really do a Spartan kick unless you move his leg out to the side to balance him. It's really impressive. And then splits. You can do the splits. Really impressive for not being part of the transformation. Fortress Maximus in the back there can do the splits, but it's part of his transformation. It's like an extra bonus point of articulation. But this guy, he is limited a bit. I mean, a twist. I just want to naturally twist this leg because there's so many thigh swivels in toys these days. It feels like this would be just so much better if it just had a thigh swivel. But all in all, for what he has, since the feet can go back for part of the transformation, you can even bend them a little bit, almost like the ankle pivots that modern toys have. And get him in some really awesome dynamic poses, which was never possible before with Transformers. Their articulation suffered so much because of their transformation. And this guy looks great in robot mode. He looks great in vehicle mode. And it's got a lot of great articulation, so he's kind of a precursor to Masterpiece Transformers. And the big advantage he has over Masterpiece Transformers, which look great in robot mode and vehicle mode, in order to get them looking great in both modes, the transformation is an absolute nightmare a lot of the time. And this guy's transformation is easy and fun. So the laser rod gimmick works in robot mode as well. It's the same button. You just push the button on his back and it lights up the cannon. It's pretty dim though in a well-lit room. Here's the fist right here. That's the light in there. You push the button. It's a pretty bright light, but I got a ton of lights in this room here. This room is meant for filming in, as well as for display. So I'm going to go kill the lights again to give you a more accurate look at what this is supposed to look like. There's the hand lighting up the cannon. It looks spectacular. It's so bright, it's lighting up the bottom of his hand. And it lights up the side of the cannon, as well as the barrel. It's really cool. That's one of the laser rod compatible weapons. You take that out. And this one is the real impressive one. You barely see it light up in a well-lit room, but with the lights out, hit the button, light up energy sword. And it's so cool that you can, especially for the sword, move the arm in all sorts of different positions. It's mostly lighting up the base and the tip. I guess it depends on the angle you look at it. You know, it looks like fully lit up from that angle. And you can see the light inside is shooting up and lighting up the top of, lighting up the headlights still. And I'll dim the room lights even more. Really nice. And if you're curious, here's what the sword looks like lit up in a brightly lit room. I mean, it's doing nothing. It's barely visible. You really do need dim lighting to be able to see the sword light up. And there's one more light up gimmick, but it doesn't involve the button on the back or any batteries. It's light piping, which a lot of G2 Transformers introduced. And in order to do this gimmick, all you have to do is bring them up to a light and hold them underneath. That's a really cool effect. I just wish that they had used translucent blue plastic instead of clear. I think it would have looked a lot better with light up blue eyes, but still a neat effect. And give you an idea of what colored light piping looks like. Here's Thunderclash, another G2 Transformer. But maybe having blue eyes would have gotten lost in all the light blue plastic. So that might be why they decided to go with clear. And I'll give you a 360 of this swag before we move on to the trailer, opening it up and going into battle station mode. So transforming the trailer is really easy. There's a spring activated gimmick for it. So earlier on in the video you might have noticed I didn't have that locked in. There was a little bit of a gap there, and it was just being held by this front part. But if you lock that in, then what you can do is stand it up like that, unlock it by releasing the front of the tanker, and then pushing the button, and hold on tight, because it wants to get away from you. You got Optimus Prime's trailer in battle mode, and it covers a lot of ground. It's like the big cat Ernie Ladd. It covers the ground it doesn't walk on, rolls on, I guess. Not quite done yet though. There is a missile launcher on the inside here, which attaches to the inside, and then this part will attach going either way. You can go either this way or point it to the other way. And you can feed missiles into here. So there are some missiles being held inside here, and you can take them out, feed them into the missile launcher, and it's sensitive. Pop them in there. Gotta twist it a certain way so that it'll hold. And then button activated. Those are pretty strong too. I only have 3 of these original 95 missiles. I got some from the Takara reissue though. Looks like the difference between them is this one has a notch going down the middle of it. And the Takara ones seem to actually hold better if you put the notch towards the button. And once that's all loaded up, pop it on there. And since it is a ball joint, you can point up a little bit, point down a little bit. Whoops, left and right. There goes the Defiant. Very, very sensitive. Missile launchers on this side. And our disc launcher over on the other side can swivel up and point out and shoot discs to wherever you want. And then the final weapon, this thing is really jam-packed with all sorts of play features, is you've got this billows, this air pump. And over on the other side is a gun, a blaster that comes out, and you can shoot these missiles. Now the trailer can only hold 1 missile, even though you get 3 of them, but you can remove the missile from the side there, pop it onto there. It's really too bad that it couldn't hold the missile while it's over top of the cannon. You could do that, but that's going to warp your missile after a while. They're very soft tipped. Didn't want anyone getting hurt, getting shot in the eye with this. So even though that's possible, it's not advised. It's like Delta Force 2. Even though it's technically a movie, it's not advisable to watch it. And all the weapons, since they can be turned in any direction you want, you can turn them both to go in this direction. Got like shields, walls here to protect Optimus Prime. You can have your Prime standing in behind here, partially protected. And let's set up this air cannon and see how this thing works. So you should be able to just press down on it and it'll fire. I think it's going to take a lot more pressure than that though. Another thing that would help is make sure that the line isn't pinched. You can see the line is a little pinched right there. So just try to unravel it so that the full pressure is going through there. Oh, that swivels too, wow. The base of the missile launcher swivels as well. That's really impressive. And I figured out how to do it. So there is a certain way that the missile needs to be loaded on there. If you try to go a different way, it won't fit right and you'll get stress marks. It's a little white stress mark right there. You just twist it. It will eventually just plop on there properly, and then you can just hold the billows and you can either slam it or just squeeze it with your hand. Actually works really well. There goes my microphone. And thanks to all the range, it can not only go high, but it can go low as well. It's not that strong, but it's got enough to knock over Junk Punk Rumble, or is that Frenzy? And when you're not blasting away, the billows can be stored back in the trailer. And remember this little swiveling part on the laser gun? Well, that is for if you want to attach it to the top of the tower and have it point down. As if it didn't already have enough artillery, now it's got Prime's laser cannon to ward off Decepticon jets. That's a really awesome set. I've never actually taken the time to go through all of the gimmicks like that, and a lot of thought was put into this set. And I've never displayed the trailer in base mode because it just covers so much ground. It's not just long, but it's wide too, so it doesn't fit on a shelf. It's pretty much a floor playset, but it's really impressive. It's not just an afterthought like some of Optimus Prime's trailer bases have been. And then in addition to the great trailer base, you get a really awesome Optimus Prime. Coloration could have been a little bit better if they had gone with a little more traditional color scheme for Prime. I'm not really a big fan of the gray on the body and the blue chest, but the sculpt is fantastic. And a side-by-side showcase. Here's with G1 Optimus Prime, or rather a New Year Convoy, Takara reissue. With a custom energy axe. He's a little bigger than 84 Optimus Prime, but he's just about the same height as Power Master Optimus Prime, without the trailer attachment. But G2 Prime is a lot more bulky with all the shoulder stuff going on. One bot he is not bigger than, though, is Power Master Optimus Prime. Almost as bulky, but Power Master Op has him beat for height. And G2 Megatron, who is quite a bit taller and just as bulky. Thanks so much for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Big thanks as always to everyone supporting the channel over on Patreon, the Patreon tribe. And also thank you to the channel members. Another way of supporting the channel. Thanks everyone. Hope you have a great week. Till next time, good night, God bless, and Nerdmas Day.